Hello everyone, Kurt Klein here with Hallmark University, reviewing Don Yacobucci's Marketing Management, 5th edition for BUS5332 Marketing Management. We are currently on Chapter 14, Customer Satisfaction and Customer Relationships. Without customers, you don't get very far, right? So within the marketing framework, this is going to fall under the 5 C's. Customer, right? Managerial checklist for this particular chapter is how do consumers evaluate products? How do marketers measure quality and customer satisfaction? What about loyalty and customer relationship management, CRM? And what are RFM and CLV? Well, come right along. We'll figure it out. Discussion questions. Number 1, does customer satisfaction matter? Why or why not? You could just be like, man, we got their money, we're out. Yeah. Hopefully it was a big ticket because they're not coming back if that's your attitude, right? Does customer satisfaction matter? I think it matters absolutely 1,000,000%. Now, there's some metrics there. It's the Pareto principle, sort of, right? 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers. You need to identify that 20% and keep them absolutely crazy happy. So they'll keep coming back. That's where the customer satisfaction comes in. The moment you sacrifice customer satisfaction, they are shopping and you are out. And it will take you a ton of money to get them back, right? Because they've got really good memories. They may not remember certain things, faces, whatever, what your boss told you last week about today's incentives. But what they will remember is that trash product that they were not satisfied with and you turned an apathetic ear to, right? So I think it matters absolutely. Those that want to argue that it doesn't, I don't know that you've got anything to stand on there. How do you determine whether you are satisfied? Right? I think throughout this entire lecture series, I've talked about upgrading from the 6S iPhone to the XR. And am I satisfied? I just noticed that the XR is, well, technically huge in regards to the 6S, so I need a new case. I'm going to need a new armor glass thing to protect the front. Thank goodness they use the same charging cable. I'm sure in the next iteration, the iPhone 12, they'll have a brand new cable, so all of my Lightning cables, just like all of my iPhone cables, will be worthless, right? So am I satisfied? It's a phone. It does its job. I feel kind of like golden handcuffs, right? I'm not really happy about it, but I'm going to continue to use it. So in that instance, I would say, even though I continue to patronize them, I'm not necessarily satisfied. So you can't just respond with, oh, they keep buying from you. Well, in this one, I'm kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of tied down to this particular company. And I really don't have high. AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Cricket, none of them have done a good job to advertise toward me to get me to understand whether or not they have a superior product or superior service, and they make me feel loved more, right? So how do you know if you're satisfied? I think when it absolutely tickles you and it does its job and it does its job well and you get the value out of it, I think that's satisfaction to a certain degree. So moving along, customer evaluations. Customer evaluations include customer satisfaction, perceptions of quality, customers' intentions to repurchase, customers' likelihood of word of mouth. Marketers track these evaluations because they impact the bottom line. So perceptions of quality, I like that one, and I'd like to talk to you about it a little bit. So let's talk about perceptions of quality. Some people come back and their perception of quality is awesome. I'm not a huge fan necessarily of Ford motor vehicles. I think Henry Ford was a genius, and me personally, I've just never been a huge fan. I don't know why. Could be styling. I like how the F-150s look. I do like how the Raptors look. I'm concerned about the wrenchability of the motors. I've had Hondas and Toyotas forever, the last 20 years, 2 decades. So I'm kind of entrenched with those folks, not to mention that my garage has a lot of metric tools and I don't have a lot of SAE tools. So when you think of it like that, my wife's father, my father-in-law, is a big fan of Ford because his father worked for Ford. And he gets the family lifetime discount because his father worked there for a bazillion years. So his perception of quality is that Ford can't be beat. And every time we talk to him, the Ford's in the shop for something. I don't know, is that quality? It meets whatever metric he has in his mind for quality. So his perception, tough to change. His perception, ultimately then, perceptions of quality. His perception's his reality, right? So Ford loves people like him. Maybe I could be sold. I don't know. I could be a beta tester. There we go. So when we think about it, customer evaluation equals the experience minus the expectations. So if the experience is up here and my expectation was right about here, yeah, I think I'm going to be pretty satisfied with that one, right? So evaluation outcomes. If the customer's experiences surpass their expectations, they're delighted, thrilled. If it meets their expectations, usually you've reached a level of satisfied, right? It's like the employee evaluations. Meets expectations. Okay, so you're satisfied. You'll still have a job. Are you getting promoted? No, but you still got a job. Fall short of their expectations. Dissatisfied. We all know what happens with that stuff. You move on, right? Doesn't matter if we go back to the employee evaluations or if we go back to a product. You're moving on. Low involvement purchases. The evaluation is instantaneous, right? Expectations are usually latent. It's a basic thing. Higher involvement purchases. Evaluation is deliberative and conscious, right? You just bought a brand new car. It's your first brand new car ever. For the last 20 years, you've had nothing but used cars, and now you have a brand new car. Are you going to be harsh in your evaluation of that thing? Probably, right? That's a monumental higher involvement purchase. Customer evaluation, slide 3 of 3. Search goods. Evaluate obvious qualities. Straightforward. Experiential purchases. Evaluate after trial or consumption, right? So you don't know until you pull the trigger on that one. Expectations might not be fully formed. The experience shapes the evaluation and the expectations. Credence purchases. I like those. Don't have expertise to evaluate. Evaluate what one can. The price, the looks, the finish. Back to the cars. If you're not a mechanic, you may not know. You know, you're like, man, that car was fast and the stereo was loud. It gets 2 miles to the gallon, right? So that's a credence purchase at that moment in time. Sources of expectations, personal experience. Consumers trust their own experience. Experience can be direct or indirect. Friends and experts, trust those with no commercial gain. Marketing mix elements, ads, price, retail atmosphere, etc. Third-party communications, consumer reports, books, and internet. I'm a huge fan of consumer reports, just because they're going to give you the feedback. I spend a lot of time reading on consumer reports before I buy a car, or a refrigerator, or a washer, or just about anything. I love the magazine. My wife thinks I'm a weird nerd. But it is what it is, right? Third-party communications. I like the consumer reports. I like that they're not paid to give any awards. Expectation and experience. The core, hygiene factors, and peripheral components, motivating factors, of a product both contribute to satisfaction. If the core is good, it doesn't enhance satisfaction much because it is expected to be good. If the core is bad, it can affect dissatisfaction. Peripheral services can affect both, right? Marketers create flowcharts that map all of the interactions between the customer and the company from the eyes of the customer. Flowcharts are used to generate quality measurements at each stage. They identify points of repeated problems, and they suggest system redesigns to improve efficiency. So types of evaluation, or types of expectations, excuse me. Idea levels of quality. Again, I apologize. Ideal levels of quality. Predicted levels of quality. Adequate levels of quality, and zone of tolerance exists between the adequate and predicted levels of quality. So you predicted it to be really this good. It was just about, so let's say it was this is the level that you expected. It was right here. So do you have a zone tolerance? The ideal level? Somewhere up here, right? So it might be different. But those are the types of expectations. So customer value. Value is the trade-off of the quality of the purchase received compared to the price paid and other costs incurred. So when I went from that iPhone 6S to the XR, they offered me a $199 setup kit that had the case, mobile charger, some other neat little frou-frou things, that protective glass on the front. And they were willing to take that $199 package or kit, drop it down to $99, and if I would agree to give them $99, they would waive the $20 upgrade fee. Already paid $750 for the phone. I've had enough at that point in time, right? So the trade-off of the quality of the purchase, I know the iPhone's probably going to be pretty good. Received compared to the price paid, $750. You're really aggravating me. And other costs incurred. Now you want to sell me a whole bunch of overpriced gadgets to go with it? I'll take the $20 fee. Marketers try to increase perceptions of value, right? So think about that. Did that case and that mobile charger and that protective glass really cost $200? No, it didn't. But they said, listen, it's $199. We'll give you $100 off. Right. I could probably swing over to a discount store and buy all that stuff for about $30. And it's the same quality as what you were just selling me. So not so much, right? Expectations. Expectations are dynamic. What pleased a customer last time may no longer suffice. Keep in mind, if you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got. Most of the time. Expectations vary cross-culturally. In individualistic cultures, satisfaction is heavily influenced by quality of reliability and service provider responsiveness. In collectivistic cultures, satisfaction is heavily influenced by the relational aspects of frontline employees. Measurement. Measuring quality with precision is difficult. Ever hear of it, measure twice, cut once? That measuring thing, that's difficult. Customer perceptions can be measured with surveys. Compare results to previous or competitive benchmarks. Surveys that measure multiple facets of customers' thoughts are more actionable, right? It's the open-ended questions. Customer dissatisfaction. The primary means to regain a dissatisfied customer is through empowered frontline employees. You need rock stars in the customer service department. So outsourcing to a different country where I cannot understand them, all due respect to those who have accents. But when you think about that for a second, if you have difficulty understanding the communication, which, and we've talked about this in other chapters, communication translates trust. I'm having trouble trusting you, and I have a customer service issue, and it doesn't seem like you're taking any actionable behavior towards fixing it, right? So immediately redress the problem. Empathize with the customer. Offer a perk for the customer's troubles. Raving Fans by Ken Blanchard, Crowning the Customer. Both those books. Awesome. Read them. You'll find that your own desire for customer service will improve. And then you might give more internal, better customer service within your company. And then external towards your customers. So customer relationship marketing, CRM, customer satisfaction is the first step in long-term relationships. Loyalty programs, price discounts may keep customers from defecting while inducing additional purchasing. Some companies may assume loyal customers are price insensitive and charge them more. That happens. So think about it. Lifetime Fitness in Goodyear, Arizona was a bronze level club. Bronze level. The club that I had come from in Cary, North Carolina was a platinum club. Do you know what the difference was? Me neither. Except that the bronze pricing and the platinum pricing says that the people in Cary, North Carolina might have been able to pay more than the people in Goodyear, Arizona. Otherwise, the clubs were identical. One was newer than the other. Go figure. Right? So some companies may assume loyal customers are price insensitive and charge them more. It's what the market will bear. Every company does it. CRM programs track customer information, including RFM information. In RFM, we've got the recency, frequency, and monetary values of their purchase history. Those little cards that you use to zap in for a lot of companies, they're tracking all of your purchases to see how can they best market. What gets you to buy more? Where do they see the spike? These factors are used to score customers to identify the most desirable customers, right? So discussion question 2, describe the most desirable customers according to the figure. So we've got recency, frequency, and monetary value. You want the people that have the highest recency, frequency, and monetary value. Plain and simple. So you want a specific quadrant of that particular graph. Customer database information, contact information, demographics, lifestyle and psychographic data, internet info, transaction data, RFM, rate of response to marketing offers, complaints. That's all customer database info. CRM programs take planning and money. They require ongoing customer monitoring. Companies struggle to design an information system with desired qualities. Integrate inputs from all relevant customer touchpoints. Access information in useful formats for managerial usage. You need some computer gurus for this one, folks. So if that's not you, find the group that can help you out with it. Customer lifetime value. Companies utilize customer lifetime value, CLV, to assess customers in terms of their worth to the company. Some customers are costly to acquire, others more costly to retain. So you got to find the happy medium there. Let's see. Managerial recap. Quality and customer satisfaction can be precisely measured for goods, but not as easily for services. Surveys can be used to ask customers for their evaluations of any purchase. Marketers care about loyalty and customer relationship management. Customer lifetime value, CLV, is a means of translating. All right, so managerial recap, slide 2 of 2. Customer lifetime value is a means of translating marketing efforts into financial results. CLV allows firms to match customer benefits to revenues to ensure that each customer relationship remains profitable, right? So remember that customer lifetime value. One of the companies that does the best job of that, in my professional opinion, is REI. They charge you $25 for a lifetime membership, and they can track everything you do. And I love that because should you ever have a problem with it, they usually take it back, no questions asked. But they're able to tell exactly what your lifetime value is. I think their targeting and their marketing is perfect. They get me every year. So that's our managerial recap for Chapter 14. See you next time.